nerds, Sarah the Vegan Hooper here. Today I'm very excited to show you a move that I discovered. It is a vertical linear isolation versus a 4-petal anti-spin flower. It looks beautiful. It is the first part of my mini series messing with 4-petal anti-spin flowers with twin hoops. This move does look better with smaller hoops. I show you in the beginning with my bigger hoops, but I will teach you with 2 different colors with smaller hoops, and it looks really cool that way. So if you're having a beautiful day and you want to learn something new and quirky, then continue on with this tutorial. Let's jump right in. Alright, hoop nerds, there's 2 different moves that you will need to know to get this down. The first one is a 4-petal anti-spin flower. Cassie McKinney has a beautiful tutorial for that. I'll post it in the description box below if you do not know how to do this. But with 1 hoop, I'm using my dominant hand, which is my right hand, knowing how to do anti-spins, or a 4-petal anti-spin flower, knowing how to pulsate your hand so that you're not just doing this, you are actually making 1, 2, 3, 4 petals, keeping your planes nice and clean. That is the first thing that you will need to know how to do in this move. The second thing you'll need to know is a vertical linear isolation, which is an isolation going up and down. I'm sorry, a linear isolation going up and down. So the linear isolation will be led with the pointer finger, not the pinky, dropping down first, flipping your hand, popping the hoop up, and going down again, making sure that your plane is nice and clean, okay? So if you know how to do both of these moves, then you will have no problem understanding the direction of where your hoops are going. So to begin this move, our right bright hand will be doing the 4-petal anti-spin flower. Our left pink hoop will be doing a pointer-led vertical linear isolation. Now something to remember is for this vertical linear isolation, we want to imagine our body is a rectangle in front of us. And while we are doing our vertical linear isolation, we are keeping our hoop in that rectangle the whole time so that we can keep it nice and clean and crisp and make an illusion. No matter what our crazy right bright hand is doing, we want to remember that our left hand is strictly staying in this rectangle. Of course, I do not have a mirror in front of me, so I have no idea if my planes are straight. I truly am hoping so. So to begin this move, we will have an inside grip, thumbs pointing up. We want our left hoop to be framing us, so our arm is stretched out across, and our left hand is going to just put its wrists together and be next to it. So our left hand is framing our face. Now the first thing we want to do is take our right hand and anti-spin down to make its first petal. But to get the vertical linear isolation out of the way so it's not overlapping, we're just going to pop our vertical linear isolation up. So we're going to go from what I believe is 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock by popping it up in that imaginary rectangle, okay? And together it looks like this. But for this move, we want the hoops close to each other at all times, like the anti-spin flower is chasing the vertical linear isolation. So as soon as you pop this hoop up, you want to isolate the hoop down back to frame you again, except your hand is now in a different spot. Your thumb is pointing down and you are framing your face again. So what this bad boy does in the beginning looks like this. Pretty simple. Starts by framing our face, pop it up, pop it down. While anti-spinning, it looks like this. See how it's chasing each other? Now the next thing we have to do for our anti-spin is the hand roll real quick, re-gripping with our wrist facing up. Nice and clean. And together, looks like this. Okay? So the next thing we want to do with our right hand is anti-spin out to the left side. What I'm going to do here is bring our linear isolation down at the same time. I know it's not correct, but what we're going to do is anti-spin this hoop out to the left while sort of tracing the linear isolation while it's going down, okay? So our linear isolation is framing us, and our anti-spin just did the hand switch, and we want to anti-spin to our left while dropping our linear isolation down. And it looks like this. See how our yellow bright hoop is anti-spinning, but it is also staying very close to our linear isolation so that it is tracing it in a way. And together it looks like this. So now we're here. We have 2 petals to go. What we want to do with our anti-spin bright hoop is now anti-spin up. And what we want to do with our linear isolation, which is our left hand, is we want to bring it up. So we will do our hand flip to get comfortable again while bringing it back to frame our face. So with the linear isolation, you are basically doing the hand flip, but dragging it on the back of your finger sort of, and re-gripping with the hoop in front of you, framing your face. So we're uncomfortable. We're going to let the hoop roll from the pinky first onto the knuckles, re-grip, and now we are framing our face. And with our anti-spin, we are just simply anti-spinning up nice and clean. And together, it looks like this. So they're real close still, okay? We want to keep our hoops nice and close. Alright guys, let's go over our 3 petals that we just learned, and then I will teach you the last petal or last part of this move. So like I said, the pink hoop, which is my left hand, will start stretched out framing my face. My anti-spin bright hoop will be right next to it, thumbs pointing up. I am going to pop my linear isolation up to 6 o'clock and back down with the thumb pointing down to frame my face. At the same time, I will be anti-spinning down. Together it looks like this. Okay? Now from here, my anti-spin right hand will re-grip while I bring my linear isolation down and anti-spin out to my left side with my right hoop. Remember, this is the tracing part. Now from here, my left linear isolation is going to do the hand flip and drag up back to frame my face while I anti-spin my right hoop up. And together it looks like this. And the last part of this move will be this. Okay? So we want to take our right anti-spinning hoop and anti-spin back to start. What we're going to do with our linear isolation is simply move up to 6 o'clock. And together, it looks like this. Okay? And now we are here. Sky's the limit from here, what you could do. But what I want to do is get right back into the move to show the audience again. So what I am going to do is push my anti-spin hoop down because my framing hoop is already popped up like we did in the beginning. And it'll look like this while I pop the hoop down to frame my face with the linear isolation. I will anti-spin down, keeping the hoops together. And then I am going to do the tracer where I take my right anti-spin hand, re-grip, and anti-spin while I bring my linear isolation down. Then I'm going to anti-spin up as I re-grip and pop back to frame my face. Then I'm going to anti-spin my right hoop out while I pop my linear isolation up to 6 o'clock again. For this move, I think it looks best if you are keeping the hoops close together. It looks like it's either following chasing or tracing. Chasing and tracing. Always keeping my linear isolation in that beautiful rectangle. And that's it, guys. So sky's the limit with this one, as I always say, but honestly, sky's the limit. Like I said in the beginning, there are a lot of variables for this. You can do it pinky lead, of course. You could do both hands pinky lead, like a pinky lead 4-petal anti-spin flower, or a pinky lead linear isolation. You could do one hand pinky, one hand pointer. I mean, sky's the limit. Tag me on Instagram. My name's Miss Maynard Keenan. I would love to see your variations of this move. So I hope that you enjoyed this move. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment box. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My hoops are from Festival Treasures. I absolutely adore them. My hoops are seamless, and I'm just in love. The colors that they have out right now are crazy. So check them out on Etsy and use my code VEGANHOOPER for 10% off of your purchase total. I also give Skype lessons if anybody wants to learn quirky, clean, twin tack. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace, God bless you, and happy hooping!